Mom said you'd help. You owe us. My brother smirked as he and his pregnant wife moved into my apartment without asking. You can afford another place, she added, tossing my clothes into trash bags. I didn't fight. 48 hours later, my phone exploded with 32 missed calls. My hand froze on the doorknob when I heard voices coming from inside my apartment. After a 2-day work trip, all I wanted was to crash on my couch and order takeout. Instead, I found my younger brother Joseph and his pregnant wife Angela standing in my living room, surrounded by moving boxes. Angela rolled her eyes, tossing my favorite hoodie into a trash bag. We've been here since morning. Your mom said you wouldn't mind. I stood there, watching them tear apart my life. My Xbox controllers were already stuffed in a box marked donations. My framed photos were stacked carelessly by the door. The coffee table I'd saved 3 months for was now covered in Angela's Pinterest-inspired decor. What the hell are you doing? I kept my voice steady, even as I noticed they had already moved their clothes into my bedroom. Joseph smirked, the same look he'd worn when he borrowed my car, and returned with an empty tank. Mom said you'd help. Remember when I covered for you that time in high school? You owe us. That was 15 years ago. I had snuck out to a party, and he told Mom I was studying at a friend's. Apparently, that teenage favor had compounded interest. We got evicted. Angela announced like she was talking about the weather. Your place is perfect for the baby. You can afford something else with your salary. We checked your pay stubs in your drawer, Joseph added. They had gone through my stuff. Of course they had. Get out. I wasn't yelling. Not yet. Don't be dramatic. Joseph waved me off. Mom's already told everyone how generous you're being. The family group chat is blowing up with messages about what a great brother you are. I checked my phone. 17 WhatsApp messages from Mom, all about how proud she was of me for stepping up. 3 voice messages from our aunt, praising my sacrifice. A text from our cousin asking if she could store some furniture in my new place since I was upgrading to something bigger. The nursery will go here, Angela was saying, gesturing to my home office setup. We'll need you to move all this compy stuff by tomorrow. My mom's bringing the crib this weekend. I watched as she knocked over my coffee mug, the one my best friend Cynthia had given me last Christmas. It shattered on the hardwood floor. She didn't even look down. Oops, she shrugged. We'll need new flooring anyway. This darkwood is so depressing. Joseph was already sprawled on my couch, feet up on the cushions, scrolling through his phone. Mom said to remind you about that time she helped with your security deposit. Family helps family, bro. That help was a loan I had repaid within 2 months, with interest. But that's not how the family remembers it. I walked to my bedroom. Their bedroom now, apparently. My clothes were stuffed into garbage bags. The gaming PC I had built myself was unplugged, its cables tangled. My bed had their sheets on it, cream color with little ducks. We need the dresser space. Angela called from behind me. Just donate what you don't need. Minimalism is in any way. I turned around slowly. They both took a step back. You have 48 hours, I said quietly. What? Joseph laughed nervously. Come on, you can't. 48 hours. Then I'm coming back. Whatever's still here goes in the dumpster, including you. Angela's hand went to her belly, protective. You wouldn't dare. I'm pregnant. 46 hours and 59 minutes now. I walked out, closing the door softly behind me. My phone buzzed. Mom calling. I declined it. They thought I was backing down, running away. Let them think that. I hadn't survived on my own since 18 by being a pushover. I had learned the hard way that sometimes the quiet ones are the most dangerous. Joseph had always relied on loud drama and Mom's enablement. I preferred to plan. Sitting in my car, I pulled out my phone and made 3 calls. One to my friend Cynthia, who worked in property management. One to my boss Sebastian, who had been warning me about setting boundaries with family for years. And one to record a voicemail to myself, time-stamping exactly what I had found in my apartment. Then I started my car and drove to the 24-hour diner, where I always did my best thinking. I ordered coffee, opened my notes app, and began to type. Joseph and Angela wanted to play house. Fine, but they were about to learn that my patience wasn't the same thing as weakness. They had 48 hours to enjoy their victory. After that, well, Mom always did say I was good at solving problems. I took a sip of coffee and smiled. The morning after I left, Angela started posting Instagram stories about their upgrade to a better place and how family always comes through. Meanwhile, I was in my car, parked across the street, watching them haul more of their crap in while throwing out mine. The dumpster behind our building now held 3 trash bags of my clothes, my PlayStation, and the signed baseball my dad left me before he passed. Each item they tossed was another nail in their coffin. My friend Cynthia let me crash at her place, but I only stayed 2 nights. By day 3, I had a new apartment lined up, nicer than my old one, in a better area. But Joseph and Angela didn't need to know that yet. Yesterday morning, the Real show started. I was monitoring our family group chat when Angela sent a voice message complaining about the ancient washing machine in my apartment and demanding I pay for a new one. Mom immediately jumped in. Clark, honey, pregnant women need reliable appliances. Can't you help them out? They're family. I broke my silence with a single message. Sure, I'll handle the washing machine situation. They probably thought I was caving. I wasn't. What Joseph didn't know was that I had run into his old supervisor at the grocery store last week. Turns out, Lil Bro wasn't working remotely like he told everyone. He got fired 2 months ago for sleeping through meetings and missing deadlines. He had been pretending to work while burning through their savings. I made some calls. First, to my landlord. Hey, just wanted to let you know someone's illegally subletting my apartment. Then, to the building manager. Those people staying in 4B, they're not authorized tenants. Lastly, to the maintenance guy who had always helped me out. That washing machine repair they're demanding, don't even look at it. The screaming started around 6 p.m. I know because I was sitting in the coffee shop across the street watching it unfold. The landlord had posted an eviction notice, and Angela was having a meltdown in the parking lot. What do you mean unauthorized tenants? Clark said we could stay. Joseph, fix this now. But Joseph couldn't fix it. He was too busy trying to explain to Angela why his work laptop was locked and his company email wasn't working. Apparently, someone, definitely not me, had mentioned to HR that he was claiming to still be employed there. Mom's been blowing up my phone. How could you do this to your brother? Angela is pregnant. I sent her the video of them throwing out Dad's baseball. She went quiet after that. This morning, Angela's mom showed up. I watched from my usual spot as she and Angela screamed at Joseph in the parking lot. Choice quotes included, "You've been lying about having a job," and "I knew you'd drag my daughter down." The best part? Angela's latest Instagram story is a screenshot of local apartment listings with the caption, "Sometimes toxic family members force you to level up." The irony is delicious. They have 72 hours to get out. Sure, here's a rewritten version with smooth flow and natural pacing. I've been the bigger person, but that doesn't mean I'm a doormat anymore. I move into my new place next week, and it even has a brand new washing machine. A lot has happened in the past week, and honestly, watching it unfold was better than any TV drama. I have been staying quiet, letting Joseph and Angela dig their own graves while I set everything up in my new place. But last Tuesday, I decided it was time to light the fuse. I had taken screenshots of Joseph's LinkedIn, where he had been open to work for 3 months, something Angela had no idea about. She thought he was still bringing in decent money. All it took was one anonymous Instagram DM with those screenshots. I was having coffee with Cynthia at the diner across from my old apartment when the screaming started. Angela's voice carried to the open windows on the 4th floor. 3 months? You've been lying to me for 3 months. Joseph's voice followed, desperate. Baby, I was trying to protect you. The stress isn't good for the baby. Wrong thing to say. Angela went nuclear. Protect me? By letting me post about our wonderful life while you're unemployed? Making me look like an idiot? I sipped my coffee as random items started flying out the window. Joseph's gaming headset, his favorite Hawks jersey. The old lady walking her poodle had to dodge his laptop bag. Cynthia just stared, mouth open. Holy crap, did you know this would happen? I shrugged. Angela's big on social media. Being embarrassed publicly was always going to set her off. The next day, my landlord, Mike, got an anonymous email. Okay, it was from me, with video clips of the damage they'd done to the apartment. Holes in walls, broken fixtures, the works. Mike showed up for a surprise inspection, just as I happened to be walking by. The look on Joseph's face when Mike saw Angela's Pinterest-inspired accent wall was priceless. Apparently, painting the living room dark blue without permission wasn't in the lease. But the real show started when Mom showed up. Someone, definitely not me, had sent her the Ring camera footage of them throwing my stuff in trash bags that first day. She burst in just as Mike was writing up the eviction notice. "Joseph Daniel, what is wrong with you?" Her voice carried through the whole building. "I told you to ask Clark for help, not take over his home." "But Mom, you said..." "I said talk to your brother, not destroy his apartment." She turned to Angela. "And you? I welcomed you into our family. And this is how you treat my son?" Angela, who had been crying on the couch, suddenly stood up. "Your son? What about my baby? Clark has a spare room and money. He's being selfish." Mom went quiet, that dangerous kind of quiet. Selfish? Clark has been supporting Joseph since high school, paying for his failed business ideas, covering his rent when he couldn't. No more. That's when Angela dropped the bomb. "Well, I already called my parents. They're driving up from Florida. We're going to stay with them until the baby comes." She glared at Joseph. "At least they have actual jobs." Joseph lost it. "You called them without telling me? After all the crap your dad said about me?" Maybe he was right. Maybe you are just another lazy dreamer who can't hold down a job. I left them to it. The next few days were a blur of moving trucks, slammed doors, and Angela's parents showing up in their SUV, looking like they'd just sucked lemons. Joseph tried calling me 17 times. I sent him one text. "Remember when you said I owed you? Debt paid." Mom's been texting, too. Apparently, Joseph admitted this wasn't the first time he lied about losing jobs. She's finally seen the pattern everyone else noticed years ago. Yesterday, she sent me a long message apologizing for enabling him. Angela's staying with her parents until the baby comes. Joseph's couch surfing with his gaming buddy. The landlord's keeping their security deposit for damages. And Angela's dad is making Joseph sign a repayment agreement for the repairs. My new apartment has a great view, solid walls, and, most importantly, no entitled siblings trying to take over. Cynthia says I was too harsh, but honestly, sometimes people need to face consequences. Joseph has been skating by on charm and guilt trips his whole life. Maybe hitting rock bottom will finally wake him up. I did keep one thing from the old apartment. Joseph's dumb live, laugh, love sign that Angela hung up. It's in my garage. Thinking of sending it to them as a baby shower gift. The joint account situation ended in chaos. I walked out to the sound of Angela calling her dad, Joseph begging her to listen, and Mom having what sounded like a breakdown on FaceTime. Cynthia got everything on video from her car. Not for anything legal, just for those moments when I need a smile. That was 2 weeks ago. In the aftermath, Angela moved back in with her parents and filed for divorce. Joseph is sleeping on Mom's couch, but she's not exactly happy about it, especially since she found out about the stolen money. Their landlord kept a security deposit to fix the damage, and I'm getting a sweet deal on a new place thanks to having documented everything so carefully. Yesterday, Joseph came crawling back, crying about how he's changed and learned his lesson. I just showed him the video of him stealing my stuff and laughed in his face. Mom says I'm being cruel. Maybe I am, but after everything they put me through, I'm completely fine with that. The best part? Through family gossip, I heard that Angela's dad is making Joseph pay back every penny he stole or face financial fraud charges. Turns out her dad has some interesting connections in town. I almost feel bad for Joseph. Almost. So that's it. My apartment is back to normal. Joseph's life is in shambles, Angela is having her baby far away from his drama. And Mom is finally realizing her precious baby boy isn't so precious after all. Thanks for following this crazy journey. Special shout out to everyone who advised me to document everything. You were absolutely right.